What's up guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today we have another SW Answers video. This is my Q&A series that we do every other week here on the channel, where you guys leave your comments and questions down in the comment section down below and I go ahead and answer them for you. Before we get into today's episode, the day that this video comes out is the last day that you can enter my mock contest, so if you haven't already, try and chuck some bricks together and enter that one before it is too late. So the 11th of February, that is today, the day this video is coming out, that will be the last day that you can enter. So good luck and thank you to everyone who has entered so far. All the entries have been absolutely sick. And I'll probably be announcing the winner on the following Sunday. But without further ado, let's get right into the video. So Nico Bricks asked when the next SW Answers video is going to be, and today. So cool question here from Zebron to start us off today. He asks what I think LEGO will be making now that there's less or sort of big mainstream films like the sequels coming out every year. And I honestly think, and I really hope, that they're going to just do loads more based off of the actual shows that are still coming out, such as the Bad Batch, the Obi-Wan, the Mandalorian obviously continuing, and loads of other stuff we've got coming up. I'd love to see them go through and just do a load of that, as well as go back and do maybe the odd set from the sequels and the originals, and maybe even the prequels as well. Just sort of sprinkle in a few of those, but mainly focus on putting stuff out from the new sort of original content. So Purge Lego asked when I'm going to make another Clone Army video, and I'll leave a link up in the corner. It's already out on the channel, so if you haven't already watched that, make sure to go check it out and let me know what you think of it in the comments as well. Really interesting question from Not That Sam Smith next. He asked what makes the perfect mock, and honestly, as it's such like a subjective thing, it's really hard to say what makes the perfect mock. Obviously, I don't think there is a perfect mock. However, I'd say a wide variety of techniques is probably the most important thing, where you use loads of different techniques to make it look as sort of smooth or as real as possible, to make it look just like what you see or what the concept art is or what you're basing it off of. As well as great minifigure placement, I think you need good minifigures to have a good mock. I think that's essential. However, one thing I don't think is important is the size of mocks. You can have mocks that are literally this big and could be perfect, and you can have mocks the size of this bed that are perfect as well. But yeah, I think the best mocks really are when they sort of look really smooth and they look just like real things or what they are being based off of. Tactic Gaming 2.0 asked what my favourite mock that I've built so far is, and I'd say my favourites are, my number one has to be the Jedi Temple. I think it was the most fun I've had on a mock, possibly because it's the biggest, but I also thought I managed to do load of different techniques that I've never really done before in that mock. I also enjoyed that Vardos mock I made a long time ago. It was only small, and it was my first sort of dip more into cityscapes rather than landscapes and sort of natural stuff. It was quite fun to do some designs of buildings and that sort of thing, as well as fun scene to create in general. But make sure to let me know what your favourite mock that I've ever built is in the comment section down below. So Yellow Lantern asked about whether I think there'll be more Jedi Fallen Order sets in the future, and why there wasn't possibly ones in the past. I don't really know why LEGO really didn't do them in the past. I think maybe it could have been possibly due to the game maybe possibly being too graphic, something like that potentially. However, I think hopefully if there's a Fallen Order 2, I think that's when we'll get more Fallen Order sets. I think they've kind of missed the boat on the Fallen Order sets now, but obviously showing that they've done quite a few Battlefront and Battlefront 2 base sets in the past, such as those. I think there were 2 battle packs on the first Battlefront, and then the one you're referring to there with the annaversiry and the Inferno Squad battle pack. I think it is possible. It shows LEGO can do them, but I don't know why for some reason they didn't do a Fallen Order set. I think like a Mantis or something like that, that main set, that main ship, sorry, would be absolutely insane if they did that with just like all the main characters there, maybe a Purge Trooper as well. I think they could have really smashed it out of the park with those sets, but it's a shame, but it would be something I'd love to see in the future. LEGO Man Studios asked what my favourite ice cream flavour is, and I'd have to go with honeycomb. I don't know about you guys. For me, I just love honeycomb ice cream. It's the best, definitely. Next up, R&M asked if I'll ever do a room tour. So at the moment, I won't, probably because my room's just quite a big room and it's hard to film, and sort of like, I don't know, it's one of those things. It's not really perfect and it's not the best setup at the moment. So, but I am moving house very soon, so I will be doing a room tour when I do end up setting up my full new LEGO room / bedroom. Obviously, sadly I haven't got like a designated room just for LEGO, but when I move house, I definitely want to get everything nice and tidy with sets on display, that sort of thing. So I definitely will be doing that in the future for sure. So Kevin asked what the cheapest way to get non-printed clone troopers from is, and I presume he means just like blank clone troopers ready for decaling. And I'd say the best places to go are Bricklink, and look for just the sort of white legs to start with. You can get them for around 10p each. Then go for torsos. I'd say look anywhere from under 30p. You want to just find a torso that's white with the sort of like white arms and black hands if you can, and then don't worry about the printing, and then rub the printing off using sort of like, I use wet sandpaper, so I put like 1200 grit sandpaper, put a bit of water on it and scrub the print off. And then if you want to find helmets, you can either remove the printing of real LEGO helmets with either like an X-Acto knife or Brasso or nail varnish remover, There's loads of tutorials out there on YouTube if you just want to search these up, or you can buy sort of like the replica or knockoff helmets that look very similar to what Lego does, or even clone on the custom helmets, that sort of thing, to decal on. So I hope that helps. Those are probably the cheapest ways to do it. For the actual pieces, I'd suggest for the legs, yeah, getting blank legs, getting a torso, wiping the print off that, and then either getting actual Lego and doing the same with that for the helmets, or getting knockoff or replica helmets for that as well. Another thing you can do if you don't want to remove any of the printing or go to any of the hassles to do that is head to blueharvestbricks.com, and you can buy sort of ready to go figures and helmets as well that are ready to decal and really easy to use. You can use my code SWBricks10 to get 10% off your purchase as well. So that unpopular opinion asks what I have to say to people who think the Clone Wars is overrated. And first off, I can see that everyone has their own opinion. Secondly, I'd say make sure to watch the Clone Wars. If you think that clones don't have personalities, go and watch the Clone Wars TV show, all 7 seasons, whatever it is now. Go through, and then after you've watched it, tell me that clones don't have a personality and different opinions. I think they're one of the coolest characters in the whole of the show, just the clones in general. They can be so diverse, and I think it's awesome to see. However, I can understand that opinion if you haven't watched the Clone Wars TV show for sure, because in the films they really aren't fleshed out, and you, other than like a couple of clones with different markings, you barely see any difference between the clone troopers. The Tron Machine asked if I would ever set up a subreddit, and honestly I don't know if you guys, but I'd never really used Reddit. I literally went on there the first time the other day, and I posted a photo of my Jedi Temple mock on r/Lego Star Wars, I think it is. I really don't use Reddit other than that. I literally have barely even touched it, so it's definitely something I'd maybe want to get into in the future. What do you guys reckon? Let me know in the comments. So Finley asked what editing software I use, and I actually use iMovie. So I have a Mac, so it comes free on that, and same with my iPhone, it comes free on there. So if you've got either of those things or an iPad, you can get iMovie for free. Obviously I had no experience whatsoever with editing at all at the start, and it's really easy to sort of progress. However, I think there is sort of like a cap to editing on iMovie. I think there's a sort of bar that you can't really go past. It hasn't got any of the fancy stuff, so it's definitely something I'd look to improving in the future. Lego Gunner asked if I'd recommend the Razor Crest, and without a doubt I would recommend the Razor Crest. I think it's one of the best builds we've had in a while. I really enjoyed it. It was a really fun build. It's a really cool set, and I think it's a really quality build as well, with also some decent minifigures. Sadly, I wish we got that Mando, the updated Mando in that set, but sadly we didn't, but it was a really cool set nonetheless, and I definitely would 100% recommend it. So Lonely Trooper and Nico both asked about sort of 20th anniversary of the Attack of the Clones movie and what sets we could possibly see in the future. And I think both of them have come up with absolutely 6 suggestions. They basically answered their question for me. I'd say that MBS Geonosis Arena is definitely something that would be insane to see. I think that would sell really well, and I think it would be a really awesome set, especially if it came with the Acklay and the other 2 monsters that we see in the arena, as well as maybe some Geonosians and all of the classic characters there as well. Maybe even some clone troopers coming in. But yeah, I think that would be an absolutely insane set. Also, Lonely Trooper mentioned Jango Fett Slave 1, and I think that's a no-brainer. We haven't had one of those in what, like 15 years or something like that, but I definitely think that would be an absolutely sick one to celebrate the 20th anniversary of Attack of the Clones. So Tactic Gaming coming in with another question. He asked what my favourite YouTuber / streamer is, and with regards to streamers, I definitely would say I don't watch too many streamers. I definitely don't watch Twitch at all, or any gaming streamers, if you know what I mean. I would say the only streams I really tune into are my friends' streams or other Lego YouTube streams, so such as TBC's, Not That Sam Smith's, all those people, like Coconut as well. And I definitely say all 3 of those are really entertaining streams. You can go and watch them and really have fun watching and chilling to those. But other than that, I don't really watch any other sort of big YouTuber streams, that sort of thing, other than maybe the Brickways. Other than that, I don't really watch any big streams for sure. Laser asked what my favourite microfighter is, and I've never actually bought a microfighter until this year, so I'd have to say the 2021 Millennium Falcon microfighter. I think that's a cool build. It's really solid actually. I don't really collect microfighters that much, as I said, but yeah, I'd have to say that one. So Jacob asked a really cool question about whether I'd want to see a folding wing TIE fighter based off of Moff Gideon's TIE from The Mandalorian Season 1, and I think that would be an absolutely insane set. I think maybe even instead of the one we got this year, I think it would have been insane if Lego had put that into the wave instead. However, I think that would be a bit audacious, especially that £35 price range or $40 price range. But I'd definitely love to see that in the future. I think that'd be a really cool TIE variant. So the Lizard Man asked where do sort of these custom sellers get all their bricks from, and I believe they get them mostly from Bricklink. I might be completely wrong, but I think what they do is they order in huge quantities of bricks, and then they can just sort of make all their custom sets out of them, and because they're making so many, they can just sort of buy them at maybe a cheaper price. But I might be wrong there, but I presume they get them from all the biggest Bricklink sellers. I don't know where else they might get them from, because otherwise they'd be really expensive if they got them from anywhere else. But yeah, I think that's probably the way they get them. Obviously I'm not a custom seller myself, so I don't know, but I presume that is where they get them from. So Gecko asked what my favourite minifigure from the sequels is, and I had to think about this for a second because I haven't actually bought many sequel sets, so I wouldn't really know, but I'd probably say Bulio from the 2019 Falcon. I think is a really cool figure. I don't know what's so cool about him, but I think he's just awesome. Has a really cool head mold. Obviously, I'm a big fan of getting different alien species so you can sort of spice up your Star Wars mocks and stuff like that. So I definitely would say that is probably one of the cooler sequel minifigures. So JP asked what the best place to get Lego parts is, and I would definitely say Bricklink. I know I've answered this slightly in other questions before, but if you're looking for Lego pieces for mocks, 100% go to Bricklink. It's just definitely the best place. I know it can be a bit confusing and you might want to watch a few tutorials or videos describing how to do the whole Bricklink process because it can be a bit daunting when you first go on there, but 100% would recommend it. It's definitely the best website to buy pieces and parts for. Occasionally you can find on lego.com on their pick-a-brick that pieces will be cheaper than Bricklink. So for example, I found my 2x2 light bluish grey tiles were a lot cheaper to buy from lego.com directly than from Bricklink. For some reason it was just, and also in the quantity that I wanted, it was definitely better and easier to buy from lego.com. So check out lego.com's pick-a-brick system. I think that's really cool as well. Also going to a pick-a-brick store. Obviously we're in lockdown at the moment in the UK, so I can't really do that, but if you go to actual Lego stores, you can get the pick-a-bricks, and they can be a really good way to get cheap parts as well. Obviously there, the variety of pieces you get can be quite limited though. So Commander Crashed asked that if Lego went back and made sets that included P1 clone troopers again from the Clone Wars, would they make a new style of clone troopers or would they use the same ones that we got before? And I personally would rather it if they just used the same ones we got before, just because I find it annoying when Lego changes their style a lot because it sort of messes up your clone army and makes them look slightly off or different. Obviously then you got all the different styles of clone troopers. I think it's good if they make the realistic and the animated styles. However, I feel like it's weird when they sort of change it up like the stormtroopers and stuff like that. So maybe they'd go ahead and try and do a dual molded clone trooper, and it might be cool. It might be rubbish. We don't know yet. So, but I'd say definitely I think they would probably go back and just use the same ones. However, maybe add some details to the legs, that sort of thing. So General Bricks asked whether I prefer decals or actual printed clone troopers for customs, and this is a tough question. I think I'll never be able to give you a solid answer. I think if you're looking for just the cheapest way to go, but you don't mind doing a little bit of sort of like decaling, then go for decal clones. I think those can be, especially with Jonak toys, the cheapest way to go and the easiest way to go to get clones, because obviously there is a lot more work involved in that sadly, but printed figures are a lot more expensive. This is a debate I could go on for ages, so if you'd like to see a video sort of discussing what the differences are and which is better out of printed or decaled, then let me know in the comment section down below and I can definitely get around to doing that. I'm planning on doing a similar video for that pretty soon, so let me know your opinions on that in the comments as well so I can sort of implement some of your guys' opinions in that video. But yeah guys, that is it for this week's episode of SW Answers. I hope you did enjoy. Obviously, as I said before, this is the last day you can enter my mock contest, so make sure you go down and enter that one. I just want to also say a huge thank you to every single person who's been supporting me recently. It's been absolutely sick. I know I've been doing less live streams, but I'm definitely going to be coming back with some more live streams pretty soon, don't you worry. I've got one question for you guys. Would you like to see a decaling live stream, whether I do sort of just like some live decaling? Would you guys like to see that? Let me know in the comments. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate every single person who has been supporting me recently. It's been absolutely insane. So make sure you leave a like on today's video if you have not already. Share it with a friend if you think they might enjoy my content, and leave a comment down below with your question for next week's episode so you can get featured in the next video. But thank you for watching guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.